What's going on, guys? Diari back again with another video, and today we are gonna dive into how to track your calories like a pro. Now, a lot of people actually struggle when it comes to tracking the calories, but this is extremely important, guys, because if you don't know how to track your calories correctly, then you're not really gonna be able to lose weight and get shredded successfully, or if you wanna actually bulk up and put on mass and muscle, how to actually do that successfully, because you need to know, guys, what is exactly going into your body. You need to know the exact numbers. And so in this video, I am going to break down the step-by-step process and everything that you need to know when it comes to tracking calories. So do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe, and let's hop right in. All right, so the first thing that we need to do, guys, before we can actually do any tracking whatsoever is first we need to find what is called our maintenance calories. Now, our maintenance calories in a nutshell is just gonna be the amount of calories that we could eat every single day and not gain any weight, right? So it's really just gonna keep our weight and our body fat level neutral. We're not going to gain weight and we're not gonna lose weight. So for example, you're 200 pounds right now, there is a certain number that your body has created for yourself that if you ate that number every day, you're just gonna stay the exact same weight. And the actual term for this is going to be called your total daily energy expenditure. I know, quite the mouthful, but this is very important that we find out what our number is, because that's just gonna make the process so much easier. And then we're gonna actually know the amount of calories that we need in order to lose weight, and we're gonna know the exact calories that we need in order to actually gain weight if we wanted to bulk up. So I'm gonna show you the best way to find this, and we're actually gonna go through this together. So let me grab my laptop. Okay, so as you can see, I got Google pulled up here, and all I'm gonna do is type in calorie calculator. Boom. And as you can see, we got a couple different options here, one from Mayo Clinic, one from calculator.net. I like going with the first one from calculator.net, seems to work pretty well for me, so I'm just gonna click on that. And as you can see, it has a couple of different factors, which I was talking about before: your age, your height, your weight, as well as your activity level. So we're just gonna fill this out. I'm gonna use my stats, my information, and I'm gonna use my weight that I started at before I started my cut, so you guys can see a good example of what our maintenance calories was at that point, and the whole process that I did to actually lose a bunch of fat and things like that. So age 29, male of course. I am 5'9", and I started this cut at 195, around there. Now for activity level, guys, me personally, I like to work out anywhere between 5 and 7 days a week. And even with that much volume, I select moderate, right? I select moderate because I'm not doing crazy, like intense type of exercises. Like my workouts are good, don't get me wrong, I'm getting a good pump, but I'm not like doing, say, like HIIT cardio, right? I'm not doing something where it's like I'm sweating, completely sweating up a storm, or, I'm training for like football or some kind of sport, right? That's when you want to go more so like active and very active if you're doing, really high intensity type of stuff. But if you're just working out, say, like 4 or 5, 6 days a week, I would just go with moderate. And let's say you're a little bit more sedentary and, maybe you work like a desk job or something and you're not really that active, either go sedentary or light for that one. So for me, I'm gonna select moderate. And yep, looks good. So we're just gonna click calculate here. All right, so to maintain my weight of 195 that I was at before I started cutting, in order to maintain that weight, as you can see, guys, it says 2,695 calories. So 2,700 calories is our maintenance. And again, that means if I ate 2,700 calories every single day, I would pretty much stay 195, right? So this is extremely important and is gonna be so helpful, guys, in order to even start the process of tracking your calories. Because now that we have this number, Now all we have to do is subtract or add calories based on our goals, and that leads us to our next section. Okay, perfect. So now we have our maintenance calories, guys. It was pretty simple. And for this example, it's just gonna be 2,700, right? So 2,700 is our maintenance calories. Now, the reason why I said that this was so important was because it makes the rest of the process so much easier. Because all we have to do now is just find out what our cutting calories are, as well as what our bulking calories are, depending on your goal. So first we'll dive into our cutting calories and what is actually going to lose us weight on a week-to-week basis, right? What's actually going to lose us fat. Now, to find this, what we need to be is in what is called a caloric deficit, right? So a caloric deficit means that we are actually eating less calories than our maintenance, essentially. So since our maintenance is 2,700 calories, anything under that, guys, is going to be a calorie deficit and we're gonna lose weight from it. So if we eat 26, 25, 24, 23, and so on, we're actually gonna be losing fat on a week-to-week basis as long as we do that each and every day. Now, as a rule of thumb, and to just keep everything simple and as efficient as possible, guys, I recommend just eating in a 500 calorie deficit each and every day. So just eat 500 calories less than the maintenance calories, and you are actually going to lose around 1 pound of fat each and every week. And as long as you continue doing this and you stay consistent, you are going to lose fat easily and you are also going to get shredded. So just keep that in mind, guys, that you want to aim for 500 calorie deficit. So for us in our example, since our maintenance is 2,700, all we have to do is just eat 2,200 calories every single day, and we're actually gonna lose fat each and every week. Now, on the other hand, if you want to actually bulk up, put on weight, and put on good mass, then for a rule of thumb and for the most efficient way to do that, you want to be in what is called a caloric surplus. And this means that you are eating more calories than your maintenance. So if our maintenance is 2,700, in order to actually put on weight each and every week, we are going to aim for 3,000 to 3,200 calories that we want to eat every single day. And we're going to end up bulking up and putting on weight and putting on size each and every week. And that's really all it is, guys, when it comes to finding how many calories that we need to eat on a day-to-day basis to either lose weight or how many calories in order to gain weight. So now the question is, okay, we have our numbers. We know how to lose weight. We know how to gain weight. Now, how do we actually type it in, right? How do we actually track it? And how do we actually stay on track so that we can hit our goal successfully? So that is the next section. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, guys, is we need a calorie tracker, right? So go ahead and download MyFitnessPal. This is gonna be the one that we're using. It's the most popular and it's pretty easy to use for the interface. So go ahead, download MyFitnessPal, and I'm gonna run you guys through that as well, step by step. And we're gonna use a couple of examples that I have here to show you guys how to actually input this information so that you can make sure that you are hitting your goals successfully. But before we go there, you need to know something very important when it comes to food selection, right? Now, when it comes to food selection, like let's say you're in the store and you're like, okay, I'm hungry. I need something for lunch. I need something for dinner, whatever it is. I want you guys to get in the habit of looking at what is called the nutrition label. So many people, guys, will go shopping for groceries and not even know what a nutrition label is, or just completely neglect it. And they're just, oh, let me grab cookies, let me grab ice cream, let me grab, this pizza or whatever it is, right? And they're not paying attention to the nutrition label. So I have some products right here. I went and brought over some pancakes from, who's this from? Crustace. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Anyway, we got some buttermilk pancakes right here, in case, like, let's say you want some nice fluffy pancakes. But before I would choose this, what I would do is I would look at the nutrition label, which is gonna be, sometimes on the side or on the back. And this is gonna determine, well, is this food even worth it, right? So for example, if you look at the nutrition label, I'm not sure if you can see that right there, but on the back, it is going to tell you the amount of calories that the product is, as well as the macronutrients, the fats, the carbs, the amount of protein, right? And it's going to tell you the amount of calories for the serving size too. Serving size is very, very important, guys. So these are all things that you want to pay attention to when you are doing your food selection, because, you know, let's say, using our example of our goal of 2,200 calories, let's say we already had some food in the day, right? Let's say we're already at 1,500 calories on the day, and now we're looking for, you know, something else to eat for the night. And we see these pancakes and we're like, oh, pancakes for dinner or pancakes for lunch, whatever it is, that might sound pretty good. We need to pay attention to these calories, because if we look at it, we see the serving size is only half a cup for 210 calories. I don't know about you, but half a cup ain't gonna do it for me. Half a cup, I could go through half a cup of pancake mix so easily. That might make 1 or 2 pancakes for me. So I would probably use at least a cup to like a cup and a half. Now we're talking about being 500, 600 calories. You know, now we're already pushing our calorie limit on the day just from having pancakes, just for having this specific pancake. And that's not even including the syrup. That's not including if we want butter or anything like that. That's not including if we're using oil or whatever it is, right? So you can see how a lot of these calories can just easily add up. So that was an important thing that I wanted to point out there, is start paying attention to the nutrition labels when you guys are making your food selections. So let's finally dive into how to actually type all this stuff into our MyFitnessPal so that we can make sure that we are hitting our goal each and every day so that we can actually lose weight. So after you download MyFitnessPal and set everything up, let me show you how to actually type this stuff in. So first, we're gonna come over here to diary that it has on here. And as you can see, it has our goal for the day, and it even shows us our remaining here at the top as well. And as you can see, our goal is 2170. I have 2170 here, which is pretty much around our 2,200 calorie range that we were talking about before for our cut. So we have that here, and let's say that for breakfast, you know, we wanted some eggs, and let's say some eggs and oatmeal, right? So it's pretty simple. All you click on is add food, and there's a couple of ways to do this. Now you can scan a barcode of your product, right? So like you can scan the oatmeal, you can scan the egg carton if you want, and it has the nutrition label that we were talking about before. You can scan that, you know, automatically input it here. I think that might be on the paid version. Back in the day, it used to be free, but you know, they always want to charge you for something nowadays, and also hit you with like a bunch of ads, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, for this example, since I don't have the paid version, we're just going to type it in. Pretty easy here. Let's see. So we're gonna type in eggs, and we're gonna select, boom. And as you can see, it says best match egg. We're just gonna click on that. Let's say we had 2 eggs for breakfast. We'll just go to our serving size, number of servings, and we'll type in 2, boom. So now we have 2 eggs, and as you can see, it says 143 calories, 1 gram of carb, 10 grams of fat, and 12.4 grams of protein. And all we have to do is just click log at the top. Boom, food is logged. And then when we go back to our home screen here, it has our 2 eggs listed. So pretty simple when it comes to that. All right, and then for the oatmeal, let's say we had our Quaker oats. We'll go oatmeal, Quaker. We'll type that in. And as you can see, best match comes up at the top. And number of servings, yeah, let's say we had about half a cup there. That's 150 calories. Boom, that's good to go. 27 grams of carbs, 3 fat, 5 protein. All we click is log. And then back at the home screen, it shows us what our total is for today. And that is 293 calories for 2 eggs, and then a half a cup of dry oatmeal. Now, also, if we're having butter, we got to input the butter. you know, if we're adding anything, any condiments or anything like that, you know, ketchup, whatever it is that we want to use. Hey, some people like ketchup with eggs, man. I don't know. But whatever, other things that you're eating for breakfast, you just input that here as well. Like maybe a glass of milk, right? You'll go to add food, you'll type in milk, about, how much milk that you're actually using. You'll type that in, boom, it's gonna track it, pull it up on the home page and give you your total. And then at the top, it's gonna say, well, what is our remaining, right? And the goal, guys, is to not go over that limit. So for example, our limit is 2,200 calories, right? As long as we don't go over that, we're gonna continuously be in a 500 calorie deficit every day and lose 1 pound of fat per week. So that's really how it is, guys. It's really just a numbers game. And just look at it like your daily budget, right? Look at calories like your daily budget. Okay, I got 2,200 calories. That's my daily budget. I got to make sure I don't go over that. Otherwise, I'm not going to hit my fat loss goals in a good amount of time and do it as efficiently as possible, right? So that's really the way that you got to think about it, guys. And that is how you track your calories, really, in a nutshell. Now, a quick tip that I recommend, guys, when it comes to tracking your calories is just plan ahead on everything, right? So first thing you wake up in the morning, or maybe even the night before, know what you're gonna eat the next day, or know that what you're gonna eat later on in the day, right? So a lot of times the night before, I might be like, you know what? I think tomorrow I'm gonna have for breakfast a protein shake and some oatmeal. And then for lunch, I think I'm gonna have a protein bar. And then for dinner, I think I'm gonna have me a hamburger and some French fries, right? And I'll just make sure to calculate all of that beforehand, and I can see what that adds up to. And if it keeps me within my calories so that I can still lose weight and get shredded, then I'll be like, okay, let's go with that. But if not, and it's too high, then I'll be like, okay, maybe we'll save this for, like a different type of day, right? For a day maybe where, maybe I'm taking a break from the diet and, I don't really mind being off that day, right? Or something like that, right? So you want to make sure that you are just planning ahead your meals. Type that into MyFitnessPal so that you know exactly what you're gonna have that next day or later on in the day, so you can gather the ingredients, look at those nutrition labels, and plan accordingly. So huge tip right there. And that's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so super exciting there. And I will be back again with the next video. And also, if you want the step-by-step process, guys, when it comes to getting shredded and actually building that Hollywood type of beach body that looks great in the summer, then you definitely want to check out my Hollywood Body program. And this is going to be an 8-week program, and it's going to run you through everything from diet, nutrition, workouts, mindset, everything that you need to know, guys, to build that Hollywood beach body. And like I said, hey, summer is right around the corner, so definitely make sure to check that out. Oh, and one more thing. If you want to know how to build a body like your favorite superhero, then you definitely want to go ahead and click that video on screen. God bless, and I'll catch you next time.